My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. Every single week, we break down full UFC fight cards. We give you our picks, our bets, and our fantasy plays. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our content. And we're also giving away $50. Anybody who goes to wewantpicks.com/bets, signs up with one of our 5 betting partners, and makes a deposit, will get $50 from us. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, however you want it. And this is brought to you by EarnU.io. EarnU.io is the world's first sports and esports prediction game, allowing you to earn crypto risk-free. Check it out now at EarnU.io. Next up, at UFC 274, we have Lupita Godinez taking on Ariane Carnelossi. And this is a very interesting matchup.
Is it though?
It honestly is, and we'll get into it. We got Lupita Godinez at 7-2 overall, 3-2 in her last 5. Alternating wins and losses, taking on Ariane Carnelossi, 14-2 overall, 4-1 in her last 5, coming off a submission win over Estela Nunes. Lupita Godinez is big, strong wrestler with solid striking, real power, and clean boxing. She has great setups to both wrestling and striking. She's very big for the weight class and uses her size and strength well to execute her game plan. She has 2 losses in the UFC, but the Jessica Penne loss was a bad decision. And the Luana Carolina loss was she stepped up on short notice, and it was at 125 pounds.
1 week's notice. Literally, it's, I guess, like 6 days notice, honestly.
Yeah. She finished the fight and then fought again the next week. But she couldn't bully, and she is a bully, very similar to Jessica Andrade in the fact that if she can't bully, she does struggle. Ariane Carnelossi is a very aggressive, very strong, and very willing to be in a firefight. She has good takedown defense and very nice ground and pound if she ends up on top. And I say ends up on top because she's not really a wrestler, but she did take down Estela Nunes 5 times before submitting her. But I think that was just her having the awareness that Estela Nunes is small and that Estela Nunes is a phenomenal striker. So we did see some of her wrestling in that fight. That is not very typical of her. And the reason this is an interesting matchup is because I love Lupi. I would pick her 9 out of 10 times in most fights. But her style is to be a bully. And Carnelossi is really hard to push around. Lupi's going to have the better striking, but she may struggle getting this to the ground. And this could look similar to Carnelossi versus Na Liang, where Liang was able to take down Carnelossi 3 times, but she still was KO'd in the second. And this is such a tough pick, but I've got to go with Lupita Godinez here. Carnelossi was losing striking exchanges versus Nunes, so she had to lean on her wrestling. And then she was losing grappling exchanges to Liang, but she did make it happen with the strikes. And before that, she just flat out lost to Angela Hill. So I think Lupita Godinez is the better fighter, but I do worry that she's going to struggle pushing Ariane Carnelossi around, and Carnelossi is going to be able to steal this win. What do you think?
Yeah, you mentioned the Liang Na. That was my lock of the week. And actually, Liang Na came across the octagon. The very first punch she threw was just a straight right that dropped Carnelossi. I thought it was going to be the greatest lock of the week of all time because I think Liang Na was like maybe a 200 dog or something like that. And literally, first punch, boom, drops her, gets on top of her, couldn't finish the fight, ended up getting knocked out because she just completely blew her gas tank on that fight. But anyway, back to this fight. I see this, you mentioned Lupi as somebody that just kind of bullies people to a win. I see that in Ariane Carnelossi. I see her as like a little Andrade, honestly. And I think she might be bigger than Andrade, but she is Andrade-like in the way that she, as you mentioned, when she's losing the striking, she can go to the wrestling. But if she can't really grapple, she can just kind of bully and brawl people, and she's going to be the stronger person most of the time. I don't think she can do that to Lupi. So you don't think that Lupi might have struggles with Ariane? I think that that Ariane is going to have issues with Lupi. Her judo is incredible. That you mentioned that Penne fight, that she did not lose that fight. Every time Jessica jumped on her, she basically literally just like tossed her across the octagon. Hup, up here.
I'm listening to you. Toss her across the octagon. I'm listening.
Yeah, we need you engaged.
I got you.
Was tossing Jessica across the octagon. Lupi is my girl. I am biased for her, but I think that this is a tailor-made fight for her to win because she's going to be able to get this fight to the ground, and that's where she absolutely dominates. You mentioned her 2 losses really aren't losses at all. That was she had just fought on a Saturday, fought the next Saturday up in weight, and she actually dominated again that first round to a much, much bigger girl, was tossing her down, and then, fighting, back-to-back weeks kind of got to her. So I'm Lupi all the way in this matchup. I love this matchup for her. She's probably going to be in my DraftKings lineup as well. Flashback, how much was she in DraftKings?
Let's see. About 9,000. I'm not spending that.
9,000? I'll probably spend it,
Yeah.
honestly. I think it's a
You think
tailor-made
so?
matchup for her. I'm going Loopy all the way.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with that 9,000 because I do worry that Ariane Carnelossi is just too strong and too hard to take down. And guys, I'm going to post the picks at the end of the week, like what the score was overall and stuff like that. But pay attention to the analysis because this is one of those fights. If Lupita Godinez can't take Ariane Carnelossi down and Carnelossi beats her and steals that fight, the analysis was spot on. The analysis was absolutely correct. The pick was wrong, but the analysis was correct. And we've got about 4 fights on this card where the pick might be wrong, but the analysis should be correct.
None of my picks will be wrong.
Look at her. I mean, just look at Ariana's arms like that, or Ariane. That is literally what worries me, is just too strong, too powerful for Loopy to bully. And that is how Loopy fights. She bullies. And if she can't bully, she might struggle.
Yeah, but it's not just all. But Loopy does it with technique. She's not a huge girl. She's a physical girl, but she doesn't do it just by picking people up and slamming them down. She does it with technique, with her judo, with her trips. So if she was like one of those muscle people like Carnelossi, that's how she gets people to the ground. She literally just muscles them to the ground. Where Loopy is very, very technical in the way she does it. So yeah, Carnelossi might be tough, but Loopy is more technical and knows how to get her to the ground.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm rooting for Loopy. I want Loopy to win. I think she can win this fight. But again, the strength is going to, because she doesn't have like beautiful, clean takedowns. She kind of bullies. So we'll see what happens. I do think Lupita Godinez wins because if she can't take Ariana down, then they end up in a striking match and she's the better striker. And that's why I've picked her to win. She doesn't need to get it to the ground. Monkey knife fight, 80-63. And that should be interesting. I think that hits. I think this is a decision. I think they go at it. I think it's more on Monkey Knife Fight.
Yeah, both these girls are very, very tough. So I don't see either one of them really finishing the other one. I think it's a lot of clinching and a lot of who can dig underhooks, right? I mean, that's what DC and Bisping always talk about in those clinches. Who's able to get those underhooks and stuff. I think it's a lot of that, but some striking in between. So I think it's a 3-4 round, and they go at it more and more.
Yeah, so we're aligned there as well. WeWantPicks.com/MKF for Monkey Knife Fight. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit, and we will send you $50 as a thank you.